Health Pillar Lead. I've come here to represent our organization in this very important meeting and the important day through the invitation of Isabel and also Dr. Kola. At the Lake Region Economic Bloc, we coordinate the 14 counties that represent the former Western Province counties, that is Busia, Bungoma, Kakamega, Vihiga, and also Nyanza. That is Kisumu, Homa Bay, Siaya, and Nyamira, Kisii, and we also have south of the Rift Valley. We have Bomet, Nandi, Kericho, Trans Nzoia, which other one am I at? And Migori. Yeah, Migori is there. So thank you very much. So those counties, the governors came together to share and apply economies of scale to come up with more efficient development for the region, and to share challenges and see how to sort out this problem. So for me, I wouldn't want to say much, but just to say that we have a strategic plan I've shared with Dr. Kola, and we met in the Afri-Cities conference, and at the same time, following the Afri-Cities, so many things have happened. They have had training for the disaster risk, disaster risk training, money to qualify in that training. So we are interested in making cities resilient using these parameters that you see on that roll-up banner. So I think we can share more, but for me, that's what I would like to say. We have a website. It's very important that we work together. I was sharing with Dr. Kola that we need to work together with all sectors, be it health, agriculture, and all sectors. Planners have a very key role in ensuring that we have a resilient society and also resilient cities and urban areas. So with that, thank you very much. I take it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. for that presentation. Deans of various schools of planning, that is University of Kabianga, Maseno University, and also Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University. Can also join the podium. Whether you are, can join the podium. Sanchez. The next speaker on our program today are from civil society. We wish to have a presentation from the director Greenwald. That is, if they are here with us today. Okay, they are not here. Then we'll move to the next presenter, that is the representative of the Vice Chancellor from Maseno University. Or the Dean of the School of Planning, Maseno University, that is Dr. Kamwele. Dr. Kamwele, it is your turn to speak to us.
They already know, they've already participated in preparing plans. Why do we prepare plans? To make our cities safe, our cities sustainable. And at the end of it, normally in third year level, we take them for industrial attachment. Yeah? Normally they come to your respective counties to be attached in the respective planning departments, disaster management, and then the GIS units. Yeah? So we are here to partake in making cities sustainable, safe for the future. So we are very grateful because the elements that we stress are actually the theme of this specific day, which is the theme for the World Planning Day. So we appreciate and we say whenever they come to your offices, kindly give them the best. And then we also urge you people, if you have friends around with kids, tell them how planning as a discipline is very, very important. There is no way we can do any development until a plan is done. That means we precede all developments. That shows how important the discipline of planning is. That's the much I can say for now. Thank you so much.
Let's applaud further. Thank you, Dr. Kamel. Then we wish to proceed to the next speaker. That is the representative of the Vice Chancellor, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University, or the Dean from the School of Planning from Jaramogi Oginga University. Karibu sana.
Good morning. Yeah, I kept checking just to see that whoever was designated to speak on behalf of School of Planning of Jaramogi Oginga University is around. I've not seen her. So being a staff of the school, I take the money. I'm not the dean, but a staff. I'm called Dr. Samuel Nyangweso, a planner by profession and a surveyor by profession. Also using some tools in GIS to do our trade. In Jaramogi, we are an offshoot of Maseno University. For some time back, we were Bondo University College. That they established was Bachelor of Arts in Spatial Planning. And basically, no much difference with the Bachelor of Arts in Urban and Regional Planning, just the name change. And I think probably in some of our laws, especially Urban Areas and Cities Act, there is too much about the concept of spatial planning and development of spatial plans and so on and so forth. I think so it aligned to that direction. Our trade is basically the same. They get registered as members of Association of KIP or other planning associations, as well as employed by the public and private sectors doing the planning. And packaged to be registered, or some have been registered as physical plans. So, planners are key to resilient cities. And straight away, what is resilience? the ability to recover from shocks. And I think in cities we have a lot of such. Recently, if I reflect backward, how many times have Gikomba been banned in Nairobi? The shock of damage by fire. And when you look at it, have we failed somewhere as planners? Or has planning not been implemented as part of disaster risk management in our markets? What they cry about are usually those fire breaks lacking, a lot of congestion in the market, and there is even no space for firefighting gadgets to get through and deal with fire. And straight away, it will come to mind that it is a planning problem. Our Gikomba market is not resilient, at least, and we can predict that without planning taking its role right there, we expect more fire and a lot of damage. Some of our, part of our city developments, you will get some are dangerously placed in some steep slopes, susceptible to landslide. It's a planning problem. Recently, we had problem of corona. And the closer we are, the worse it is. And the likelihood of transmitting it. So it is simply distribution of people and activities in the cities. So if we are over-concentrated somewhere like in the slums, we are not resilient. When it comes to shock of epidemics, such as corona, such as cholera, and any kind of airborne diseases which are easily transmitted from one person to the other. So, planning is another part of resilience of our cities, even in terms of economy. When we plan, we focus very much on local economy. What will we be producing in this city to create money and to create wealth? How will residents get employed? Where are our industries? What are our comparative advantage within these particular cities compared to the hinterland and other cities? What can we produce? Which industry can we establish? Which services can we offer? Are we cities, a city having some niche that needs to be enhanced so that a lot of people can get employment? So even that, we need to think from the planning time, very early at the planning point, to focus further to see and address issue of economic resilience. And even when industries and employment places are declining, it is upon planning to address that, among others, to see to it that the declining industries do not grossly affect the economy of that particular city. Because you know what? When the economy falls of a city, what is the immediate reaction? What is the immediate consequence? Crime incidents. There could be even depopulation of such cities. They could be ghost cities very quickly. And I think when we talk resilience, these are the things we are talking about. The ability to foresight and plan ahead to address possible shocks to our cities and address them through planning and other interventions. Anyway, in In Jaramogi, we offer 3 programs in the School of Spatial Planning and Natural Resource Management, Bachelor of Arts in Spatial Planning and Design, Bachelor of Science in Water Resource Management, Water Resources and Environmental Management. We also offer Diploma in Disaster Management. Now, we are also offering a number of disciplines under TVET, Diploma in Project Management, Diploma in Environmental Management, Diploma in Environmental Science, Diploma in, I think, some water technology. So, a number of diploma programs have also been initiated. We offer PhD and masters also in the respective areas. And with that, and on behalf of my Vice Chancellor, Professor Stephen Agom, and my Dean, Dr. Lorna Grace Okoto, and my Head of Department, Planner, Dr. Frederick Owino, I thank you for the invitation, and we promise to partake of this in the subsequent invites. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That was Jaramogi Oginga. Then we wish to move to the representative from the office of UNDDR, that is Madam Isabel Njihia. As Madam Isabel prepares to come, we wish to make an announcement that author by the name Paul Boya Kerr Akoko will be launching a book here in this very hall on 10th November at 4 p.m. All of you are welcome to join that particular event. Karibu Isabel.
Asante sana. Habari ya asubuhi? Good morning. I'm seeing some sugar going around, so I guess the energy should be going up. After that walk especially, you should be feeling energetic, right? My name is Isabel Njihia, and I serve in the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction Organization, the regional office for Africa based in Nairobi. Yes, I am responsible for all the happy banners in the room. My portfolio covers the Making Cities Resilient 2030 initiative, Sub-Saharan Africa, and basically it's all about implementing the Sendai framework at the local level. We'll be talking much about why I'm here later, but just to give an overview of what my organization does, because I see that is the trend that has been set. United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction is the coordinator of disaster risk reduction within the UN system, but also among partners. So we do provide the guidance that is, currently guiding how disaster risk reduction is actually planned for, now that everyone is using planning, planned for and implemented, and also we monitor and record progress with national governments. So just to let you know, for those of us who are hearing the word Sendai framework today, how many of us have had Sendai framework before? Have had. Wale students were disaster management from organic? They need to tell us what they're using. Ian Gerard is the secretariat, or rather as a secretariat is responsible for ensuring that the Sendai framework is actually implemented by the member states. While it's voluntary, we were tasked to actually provide the guidance and also provide support to national governments as they carry out what they promised to do. Now, this Sendai framework was actually developed as an intergovernmental negotiation process. So it is the result of dialogues that have happened from the local level, in some countries at community level, in some countries at city level, and so on. And just so that we are clear, when I get to my presentation, I will give a disclaimer on the word cities as it is used on my banners. So the initiative on making cities resilient is not necessarily for the definition of what we call cities, but basically for all local governments. Tuko pamoja? Are we together? Good. So yeah, so just so that you keep that in mind. I'm not saying that the cities should be refuted, but I'm just saying when it comes to DRR, we are looking at local governments and not necessarily cities in the definition of cities. So as we get into the day that is the Town Planning Day, one of the things we need to remember, or that keeps coming up over and over again when you watch the news, when you follow the developmental agenda, is the fact that we are seeing the disaster trends increasing, both in size and frequency, right? And what is the cause of this? Do we have natural disasters? Who says we have natural disasters? Please raise your hand and be careful. Okay? Events happen. We have natural phenomena.
Those of us who are here, you either fall in category of planners in academia and also planning students. Also, to a large extent, we also have civil society. I wish to recognize the presence of various representatives from various counties, that is from Kakamega County. Thank you. Santeni. Also representatives from Vihiga County. Representatives from Siaya County. Representatives from Kisumu. Representatives from Vihiga County. That's actually Kisumu County, who are our hosts. Representatives from there? Yeah, Santi. And also, we wish also to recognize representatives from civil society. I'm doing this because some of these particular members joined us later on. Representatives from civil society? Any members from civil society? Okay. Our representatives from Learning Academia, that is from the three institutions, Maseno University, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, and Kabianga. Certainly they are quite a number. Also, we did have, at a certain time, we did have a representative from Kaldo who requested to leave. We also have a representative from Lake Regional Economic Bloc. And also we do have a representative from the UNDRR, who was the immediate former speaker, who has concluded her remarks. As we proceed, I would also wish to recognize the presence of a representative from the national government, that is from the State Department of Fiscal Plan, that is Planner Lamek Manchuki. Planner, you can just wave from where you are. And also on the same breath, you can just join the podium. And also Karibu.
I guess it's afternoon. How are you, planners and friends of planning? My name is Lamek, and I wish to make a little correction. I'm not from the State Department. I'm the Acting Director of Fiscal Planning in Emira County. But I got a call from a regional office from David Wanjala, who was supposed to make a keynote speech, but he could not make it. So I had to do a bit of a presentation for him. And he requested me to first send his apology to all of you because he wished to be here. And second, to say a few things that we are working together. Probably, given there's this saying we used to say that this is the highest concentration of planners per square meter. I would not wish to take you through the path of the academia in planning, present to you the real challenges that this planning world in terms of practicality has faced. And because I've seen quite a number of students here, I know when I was a first year in the School of Planning, I was given a plain paper and a pencil, and I was told, do anything on that paper. That was Project Zero. Anyway, without so many details, I thought the world of planning was that easy, so it's about you writing anything you want and you score marks. That was just the beginning. But now let me bring you to the real world. For some of us who are working for county government, we are facing real challenges. For example, when we had devolution, you see in Section 4 of the Constitution of Kenya, it provides that the counties become the planning authorities, and thus the counties became. But they lacked capacity, they lacked planners, they lacked the people who would spearhead that program. So, speaking of the national government and the regional office, we have quite closely in terms of looking on those gaps of capacities. As we speak, I'm not saying planners are not liked, but planners, people don't know what to do. They don't really know how important you would be in providing solutions, because out there, go to public engagements, people think of brick and mortar as development, not planning. Are you getting my point here? They would wonder how that analysis can translate to changing their lives. So really, they want a school, and that school will be brick and mortar. However that school looks, that is a development that is coming from our leaders. So our leaders are under pressure to provide development in terms of brick and mortar, but no development in terms of transformation and a number of things that are sustainable that we study in school. Secondly, I'm very happy about the remark made here by one of the speakers about the issue of cities. We come from a rural county, that is Nyamira. At some point, I thought even the MC was forgetting to mention the visitors from Nyamira. The reason why I raise an issue about Nyamira, we are a rural county, but a very unique rural county because of our population densities. We are talking about the densities of about 700 persons per square meter, but we don't qualify as slums, we don't qualify as informal. Reason? Even in those densities, everyone has a title. So in terms of defining informality or a slum, if you have secure tenure, then you don't belong to that class. But then, when you look at the solutions we are looking at, in terms of the safety of these settlements, in terms of real issues, look at Corona hit us the other day. My colleague planner there can tell you, we went running around looking for cemeteries, trying to find, because we were told we put in bags and you remember those things, but God saved it. So that is where we are. So when you mentioned that it's not about cities, the issues we have even in planning schools, we need to look at the informality and define it a bit differently, because we are providing solutions for the people. And to say the least, but very lastly, is that now, because of the law and because of the onward thinking in terms of partnerships, in terms of the leaderships, we have planning schools, and of course the Kenya Institute of Planners, which has brought a lot of issues to the fore and engaged our governments actively. The role of planning is getting now enshrined in the system and in the law, to the extent that even our county, for the last close to 10 years now, I've worked with my colleague, Lana, who I'll identify. We have not had any funding for planning because it's not been necessary. Or whenever there is a problem, planners are for firefighting. We have a project from the World Bank. It is giving us 20 million. We need land to place some hospital. So that is what planners have been pursuing for. Without speaking so much, if you allow me to recognize my planner colleague, Evelyn Nyambane, a very active planner. Currently, she's our active manager in Nyamira Municipality. An amazing lady. We have worked together for some time, and we hope most of you will join us. And the speaker, I saw one of the students from the University of Nairobi who came alongside another team to do some studies in Nyamira, which is very good because Nyamira, ukienda kwa Google, search Nyamira, other than the Google map, you may not find a lot of information about Nyamira. So we are encouraging the universities who are sending their students that you also follow up. Let us do more research on these unique areas and small areas, because if you are not known, nobody cares about you. So really, we invite and we wish to have more of partnerships of that nature. Thank you very much. And Evelyn, if you say one word as I walk out. Thank you.
Thank you, my colleague Planner Lamek. I know this is off the MC, but I salute you all. How are you? My name is Evelyn, also a physical planner, but currently acting as a municipal manager in the Mira municipality. And I don't know if there are any other urban managers on board. Maybe they will recognize later. But I know much has been talked about, and the issue is the planning. That's why we're here. But the most important thing is also to recognize that municipalities have come on board, and there is also need to recognize that these municipalities need urban managers who can articulate planning issues, and it's not late to engage. So I expected as much as we have planners here, we will also have maybe municipal managers from other areas, because areas they are managing are also areas within our urban setups. So thank you so much for attending this occasion, and we look forward to interacting. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. I'm also glad that you are also sharing experiences from counties. And more or less, counties in this region have the same problems or the same opportunities. And that is also the basis of we having LREN, who are also trying to harness the opportunities that we do have in these particular counties. A planner from Nyamira is also the acting manager in Nyamira municipality. True to your word, we do have urban managers who are here with us today. Please, you'll also move, or rather join the podium, because earlier we had also announced that you join the podium. Maybe as you join, I would also wish to give this opportunity to the urban manager from Busia municipality. So you do have quite a number of urban managers here. As the one from Busia municipality concludes his speech, then kindly will also join and also make your speech. Make it short so that we proceed to the next agenda item.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenneth Napilito, the municipal manager, Busia municipality. We are glad to be invited here to celebrate this World Planning Day. We want to join you. We have also come with our team from Busia. Maybe before I continue, I want to recognize my team, starting with the MC, our deputy municipal manager. Yes, sir. Very sure. Team from Busia. Yeah, that's the team from Busia. Thank you. I'll not say much. It's just to say that this is a journey that we've started to walk together. But the planning teams are now recognizing municipalities as centers of planning. That we are now very important in the planning of urban centers. It is a journey that for you, for the managers who have been there, the ones that have been there much earlier, we recognize that to operationalize the Urban Areas and Cities Act, even within the municipality, within the county government, for the functions we transfer, it has been a journey. That devolution stage, we are now realizing the fruits. For Busia, about a month ago or 2 months ago, we were given functions. The functions were transferred to us. Ideally, we are now going to take over planning functions and work with the department. Just like the plan of Nyamira said that when it comes to planning, people believe it's brick and mortar. To the extent that when you have a budget on a spatial plan, you want a spatial plan to be funded. When it goes to the people who are supposed to approve, what will happen is that they look at the budget and they will wonder, how does that transform into development? How does it transform into the voters? If you plan Kisumu and you say, the other part of an industrial part, the other, this is slum upgrading, we have a commercial area. To a layman, he may not really realize it. So for you to have it approved and proceed to develop it, to effect it, to execute it, it will require a lot of talking, a lot of negotiating. So we are asking that most of these forums that we are now starting when we do this world planning bid, we will have to cascade it even to our legislators, to our county assemblies, to our leaders, to our chief of staff and the CC, so that planning as a tool of development is realized and is accepted. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Manager. Any the next please, Manager? Please also introduce yourself and also tell us the municipality that you represent.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Bwana Yesu asifiwe. My name is Larry Neville Jobano, Municipal Manager for Rongo Municipality in Migori County. In Migori County, we have 3 municipalities. I have my colleague Musa Rualo from Migori Municipality, the manager of Migori Municipality. I also have my colleague David Ore, the manager for Awendo Municipality. Of course, we came with our county director. I know we will have his time. And also we have Planner Congo. We also have another planner there. Ladies and gentlemen, today, I know we are not keynote speakers, but all we have to say that we came here to learn and learn and learn. So ours here today is just to open wide our ears so that we could get more information that will help us plan well our municipalities so that they will grow into cities in the near future. Otherwise, I wish all of you a good stay and nice time.
Thank you, Municipal Managers. Those are the urban managers that do oversee affairs of the various towns and urban centers that we do have in our various counties. Also, there are resources or other important offices that do implement spatial planning at county level. And that is where planning is actually domiciled, although it's not obligated to this particular urban institution. You have the Department of Fiscal Planning, who are mandated to implement the Fiscal and Land Use Planning Act, and also to an extent the Urban Areas and Cities Act. They are represented here by various county directors of fiscal planning. We do have a number, and also other fiscal planners in these particular counties. Although in their caucus they are led by Planner Chude, who is the chairperson of the directors of fiscal planning, the country, and is here with us. Also, Director, you can also make a speech to crown what managers who are saying.
Thank you very much. I'm Jambo Ote. My name is Stephen Chune. I'm Director of Fiscal Planning in Kakamega County. So I begin by bringing you greetings from our Governor, Fernandez Baraza. Have you received them? Thank you. I bring you greetings from Waziri Matiani, who ought to have been here, but is held up in Siala in another meeting. And finally, I give you my own greetings. I'm Jambo. I'll be brief because of time. I want to recognize all directors of fiscal planning who are present with us. Suppose I request that you arise so that we see you. Director of fiscal planning from counties, wherever you are. Okay, fine. Maybe introduce yourself.
No, thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dennis Oiro, County Director in charge of land and physical planning from Migori County.
Thank you. This is a great day for. Sorry.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Omhina Mach Musena. I'm the Principal Fiscal Planner in the county. As other speakers have said, the challenges bedeviling counties are similar. Like for my county, Vihiga, planners are viewed as people who only receive plans, building plans, nothing else. On the part of municipal managers or town managers, most counties do not recognize that important office. All towns are supposed to have independent city boards. In Vihiga County, our municipal board is still under the management of Department of Lands. They do not have that independence to make their own decisions. So how are we going to manage our towns? However, that's not really starting. In Vihiga County, we also harness on opportunities. We have a GIS lab in place. We have very current geospatial data that we use to do our town planning. Currently, we have a local fiscal development plan for Kaimosi. We are doing one for Rwanda town, and very soon Rwanda town is becoming a municipality. And then we are doing mapping for our market centers, because we know with GIS, we shall be able to visualize, we shall be able to interpret, we shall be able to analyze data that will be important to make our cities and towns resilient. And it is an expensive exercise to have a GIS lab. In Vihiga County, we have a GIS lab, but no personnel. We only have a director, no any other personnel under him, because of funding problems. So I hope at the end of the meeting, we shall discuss and come up with various views on how we can harness our GIS tool and other planning tools so that we can make our towns resilient. Thank you for the invitation to attend this meeting.
Thank you very much. Personally, I want to briefly talk about the journey planning as well, because I've been in this field for some time, and the journey we've been through. Of course, there are challenges, like my colleagues are saying, but if you've been in this field for some time, you realize I may not give you dates because I'm not good in history. But remember, at one time, our main challenge in planning was taking care of the environment. And we dealt with that issue. And then it gave birth to MCA, issues of EIA in planning, which was done. Then after that, an issue came up about gender inclusion in planning. And some people thought gender was about men and women, but for planning we knew gender was about including everybody in planning issues. And then this, when we now decided, like, when you are approving plans, you have to take care of people who are physically or challenged, how they access those places. Now it came a time, there was a need for public participation in planning. And again, we legislated, public participation is within Blooper, Fiscal Planning Acts or Fiscal Planning regulations. Now, we are faced with an issue called climate change. I'm saying this because as planners, you must make yourself relevant. If you don't make yourself relevant, the world will move on and leave you behind. And each of these paradigms, how have we contributed? What has been our contribution as planners? Currently, people are meeting in Egypt, Cairo, as we meet here. What is our role as planners in terms of combating issues of climate change? Probably my take would be we may not go for mitigation, but we have a lot we can do on adaptation side. By retooling or looking at our tools and orienting them towards climate change, seeing how whatever we do every day, how is it addressing issues of climate change. And there are simple things we may do to achieve this. Probably, if we are doing urban renewal, can we retrofit our buildings? Can we reduce a bit of this, especially the air conditioners? Is that the way to go? Can we have policies, including solar, in our plan approvals, in our developments? Can we enforce this at plan approval stage? Should we allow just a further dumping? Because you know when you dump, those landfills emit methane. Methane gas has higher warming impact than even carbon dioxide, or more than carbon in the space. So there are simple things which as planners we have to do to make ourselves relevant. Otherwise, we should not keep on lamenting. Let's get our space as planners. That has always been my call, that anytime you see something, let's look for a planning opportunity within. And because of time, I want to say I'm very happy about this mix, because we have the academia, we have the students, and we have the practitioners and government who make policy. And each one of us, wherever you are, you have a role to make sure that this profession is growing. From where we operate from, I think personally, I've had a lot of chance to give internship and attachment to students. I don't know if there are any of them here. Anybody who has been an intern under me or attachment, just arise. Because they are also now coming of age. Yeah, those are only 3. Okay. Pleasure, those are 4. Thank you, have a seat. That tells you that I'm also becoming old, because we have a duty for those of you who are senior planners to see this profession grow, because this has a direct impact on the future of the globe, because the entire future is within urban areas. And therefore, if you can give internship, if we can change our curriculum to align it to climate change issues, look at the tools we operate with in planning, if it's change of user, how is it relevant to climate change, and what other changes are we going to put in place to re-engineer this profession? I think that should be the conversation going forward. Otherwise, we are likely to die like many other professions. That's on the professional side. And therefore, I'm very happy for this occasion, because now you bring these people, the four arms together. That's the practitioners, private planners, planners from private practice. We have the academia and the government. And we are saying, come on, please, let's come and reason together. Because the future is urban, we have therefore to think urban. Disasters are bound to happen.
And if we are to go the adaptation way, because when climate change it keeps on taking place, then there are bound to be risks. We are bound to have disasters. So how are we in building or putting up systems within whatever we are doing to make cities resilient, to reduce the risk in terms of any disaster? I think that's the kind of conversation we should be having, and we see how we can reorient this profession to give solutions to the current problems. Thank you very much. I'm also very happy that there's an army of planners behind us. When we started the work, I wanted to join them, but when I looked at myself and looked at the team that was carrying the banner, I realized I did not keep up. And these are the people we are supposed to bring up. These are the people we have to encourage. These are the people we really have to make sure we transfer knowledge, practical knowledge, into them so that we see a better future for this globe. Otherwise, I thank you very much for attending this occasion. The future is urban. Some of us may dispute, and there are more risks happening. The urban areas are more prone to more risks than rural areas. So if you fear maybe being exposed to risk, then go back to the rural areas. But you may not be there for long. Thank you very much. Karibuni.
Director, as you said, it is everyone's pleasure to, from time to time, to be able to meet people whom you have mentored, people whom you have taught, people whom you have guided as far as professions are concerned. And in this particular hall, I'm being very careful with my words because we do have very experienced planners, that is planners who have taught planners, but also now teaching other planners. And Director, if you're saying that you are becoming old, I think you are not, because your peers are also still are still teachers. And also, when you say you are old, I want to agree that you are doing that in order to encourage that you have created space for other people to also occupy. But the most important thing is that everyone is adding value to the profession in his own capacity. From behind there, I'm seeing Planner Walter Alano. Recognize your presence. That's also a teacher of planning. It's a lecturer at Maseno University. As we proceed, maybe we can also have we have representatives from the Water Resource Authority. We can have you have your word, because our chief guest has also arrived. That is the chairperson of the president of the Kenya Institute of Planners. That is Planner Joachim Nyarangi. So as the Water Resource team make their way, Water Resource Authority team make their way, Planner Kamwele, let's proceed. And Planner Kamwele wanted to recognize the team that worked with her.
Good afternoon again. When I was giving my keynote speech, my team was not in the room. So I just want to introduce them, starting with the Associate Dean of the School of Planning, Dr. Asamba. I think she'll say something small. Then Dr. Orlando. And those are, of course, the lecturers. But in here, I think 3/4 are from Maseno University, and those are the students of planning, disaster management, and GIS. May the students just stand up and wave so that people can know that Maseno is actually here. sponsor the students. I now invite Dr. Samba, who is a disaster specialist, just to say something small. Then Dr. Lando will also wave to you. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. I think the only thing I can add on to what our able Diggs spoke about is to let you know that what we are discussing here today about resilience, and especially resilience to disasters, is one of the key things that we are focusing on as an institution. And we are looking closely at ensuring that our students, as they progress through their studies, from the initial stage to their point where we are happy enough to say they are able disaster managers, are being able to use GIS to create models and to predict disasters. And right now I'm very happy because like our current fourth year class, most of them are looking at disasters in small urban centers, concentrations currently being in Rwanda and in Maseno. So we think that we have a contribution to make as an institution, and we are looking ahead at creating managers who are able to look at preparing communities through public participation, to close interaction, to just become more resilient. And focusing on the urban setup is becoming more and more critical because that's where the bulk of the population is. So thank you, and I hope we'll be interacting more.
Thank you, Dr. Samba. Lando, please.
I think I can be seen for me. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alonso Walter. I'm also one of the staff members at the School of Planning and Architecture of Maseno University. I'm a planner myself. And of course, along the way, what I've just realized is you gather a lot of skills as you move along. So I also do GIS and remote sensing as tools that are useful in planning. I think a lot has been said. I don't need to overemphasize that which has already been mentioned. Other than just to mention that really, the theme of this day is quite apt, and that is, it calls upon us to think global, but then plan local, act local, which is something I find quite useful. And from the point of view of the university, I think the contribution that we're making, aside from undertaking research, in the thematic issues, among them issues of climate change, disasters, whether these are natural or man-made. We are doing researches in this area so that we are able to make a contribution to national development from that point of view. But aside from that, we are also training students, and there are some of the posters that they placed out there that really show how they are able to domesticate some of these issues that are at the nation at global level, and they're domesticating them to the local level, trying to address issues of climate change and resilience of cities, and some of them I can see them on the project, the slides that are moving there. I think, thank you so much, Aboku, for this chance. And of course, also the organizers, we are grateful, and we join hands together to make our cities better places where we can work and live. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We do have representatives from the Water Resource Authority. Please, you can also take the podium and make your presentation.
I must say that I'm happy to be invited to attend this meeting. I recognize the fact that it's a planners meeting, and I've heard that word being mentioned several times. And I've been thinking, therefore, that how do water resources get recognized as one within the planning process? My name is Willis Memo. I work with Water Resources Authority. We are based here in Kisumu. Water Resources Authority has the mandate to regulate the management and use of water resources in Kenya. So when the devolution came, it remained a state function, a national government function. So the challenges of this separation of functions and powers therefore become real when we are doing the planning, especially on water resources that are a national function within an evolved system. So I've been wondering whether the planners are thinking about this. How can we integrate the national planning and the county planning, especially with regard to water resources? So that has been my question as I even sit here. The other thing is, when we are taking an inventory of water resources, we're looking at the water sources that are within the urban centers or cities. We have urban rivers, we have rural rivers. But urban rivers suffer the consequences of the anthropogenic activities of the town dwellers. And we've been wondering, therefore, what is the role of planners in terms of planning for the urban rivers? One characteristic of urban rivers is that they are highly polluted. And Kisumu City sits where we have the second largest freshwater lake in the world. And yet that water is not meaningfully being used because of the pollution levels. And is fed. So if you want to look at the lake, look at the catchments. So all these rivers bring everything, including pollutions from city industries, from all agrochemical factories into the lake. Therefore rendering that kind of investment very, very bad. So what is the role of planning when it comes to, for example, if a river passes through a city, are we considering the riparian buffer? I've seen the number 5 in the essentials talking about the ecosystems, the city ecosystems, but regarding to the riparian buffer, are we considering that? About 3 to 4 years ago in Nairobi, there was a global when buildings were being brought down in the city because they were built on the riparian zone. I don't know whether this will catch up with us here in Kisumu, where several buildings have been put next to river systems, next to ecologically sensitive areas. And this has made our life extremely difficult because after you invest all the planning system, both spatial and temporal, has been done, you cannot redo the work. Especially during approvals of the plans, whether city plans or any development plan, it's very difficult to undo that problem. So we suffer the consequences of pollution, we suffer the consequences of reduced flows of you guys, so that we can still discuss now the nitty-gritty, the details of some of these things we are talking about in regard to water resources management, especially those within the city system. I want to recognize some of my teachers. Isabella Zamba taught me and gave me a lot of information. I've been also taught by planners. So sometimes I think like a planner, but I'm a resource manager. Thank you so much.
Those are friends of the profession. that is the Water Resource Authority, which is led by water resource managers, and there are also engineers in that particular department. Also in the built environment, we do have other professionals, like we do have architects, we do have structural engineers. Any in the house? Any architect in the house? Have none. Any engineer in the house? Okay, we do have two. I would have wished that you also had a chance to speak, but then our program is a bit packed, and we wish to proceed to other items. The other item that we wish to have before us is we would wish to have a representative from the Kisumu County government. And from where I sit, I can see Planner Jacqueline Akinyi, so that he also speaks on behalf of the host county. That is from the government side of it. I understand we also have quite a number of planners in private practice who are applying their trade in Kisumu County and in all other counties in this region. I hope I'm not breaking any protocol from your department, but please also talk to us.
Hello, how are you? My name is Jacqueline Akinyi, and I am representing Kisumu County, and to deliver the greetings from the governor and from the chief officer, Department of Planning, and even from the director. They've not been able to be here for unavoidable circumstances, but I know that you are welcome to Kisumu County, and I'm glad to be part of this deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you. I wish to make an announcement that as we proceed with our discussions here, we do have a gallery, an art gallery, at the far end of this particular facility, where various artworks have been exhibited. When you get a chance, please go and have a look at it. Quite interesting stuff over there. And also, there's an announcement from the State County Government of Kisumu that on 16th of November, the year 2022, they're having a car-free day. We all understand what that means in planning. Do we? Yeah, okay. That's an exercise or a program towards solving one of our challenges, that is congestion in our centers. Dr. Lando was when I knew him, he had a bias in transport planning. I think that's an area he could speak on and on about. The next item on our agenda would be the launch of the Kenya Institute of Planners, that is the Western chapter. We, as planners who are practicing in Kenya, we felt that we need to devolve further. That's the way devolution came with the Constitution 2010. We are meant to devolve further and even to have regional offices. And this will also mean that it will provide an opportunity which is quite closer to us. That is the planners themselves, and also the friends of the profession, to be able to access the administrative services of the Kenya Institute of Planners, coordinates, and also the umbrella body where practicing planners meet and deliberate on development of the planning practice in the country. With us, we are also pleased to have the Kenya Institute of Planners President, who joined us all the way from Nairobi in order to grace this occasion. That one, before we get there, those who joined us late, I wish still also to welcome you because it's an ongoing exercise. And also I wish to encourage you to promote the profession. So far we have had quite a number of challenges in the profession. Those of us who practice in counties, personally I do practice in Busia County and I work in a municipality. We are seeing also, I can report those are employment opportunities because we are seeing where there is an urban manager, a planner would definitely be required. So as we continue classifying and implementing the Urban Areas and Cities Act, we are also getting quite a number of opportunities for the youthful planners to showcase what they have learned. And also for the planners in private practice, that would also mean that the practice is also being carried further and you have ambassadors in those particular institutions. And that would mean that we are also moving away from the narrative that the previous speakers have talked about, where planning was perceived not to just to be a piece of paper and not to address any tangible challenge. But I'm quite encouraged because in the recent times, the urban agenda has is quite picking up, and I'm also quite encouraged with the progress in academia because they're also progressing in line with the changing operational environment that you are working in. They are also developing a curriculum that is geared towards addressing emerging challenges. We are also pleased with the development in GIS. Later on, you'll also be seeing the projects where these particular tools that we're speaking about, or rather we will be able to see these particular tools being applied in real-time projects. And all these counties are beneficiaries of this particular works because document number 0 of any urban institution, for that matter, should be a spatial plan, and all other plans should therefore draw from that. Quite unfortunately, we wish to report that most of our counties in this region have not quite complied on the aspect of being county spatial plans. The only one that I know of is Siaya County, that also faced quite a number of challenges at approval level. But we would wish maybe also to encourage that as we leave this particular forum, with the newfound unity that we are fostering here, we can also move and reach out to the CEOs of these particular counties and encourage them on the importance of plans. At the moment, most plans are doing their third generation of CIDPs, that is the County Integrated Development Plans. And it is now and when they are noting that the missing link is the county spatial plan. It is quite unfortunate. But all the same, they are muddling through and they are trying to get to a point where they are getting CIDPs without county spatial plans. Whether that is legally feasible and even technically feasible, that is there to be seen. Although from our experience, that's a route that particular route is quite long, and also we find that we do have quite a number of gaps. And therefore, we work in areas and also in the world that we live in today. We have problems, or rather we have challenges of resources, where resources are limited. And therefore to direct our resources towards the real top priorities, towards those particular programs of high impact, so that we direct our resources towards programs and projects that would result in us being disaster or risk resilient. We're also talking of climate change today. We have to mainstream it in all our plans. With all that, we are quite impressed that as a profession, since we are also meant to lead this particular exercise, what all these speakers are showcasing here also points that we are somehow ready in leading this particular process. Although the bigger challenge has also been that particularly as we devolve to the regional level, we also meant to activate this particular, or rather county units, so that we also advocate further for planning. We do have quite a bad experience from the previous, from quite the time back, and we were thinking that if we could sustain this particular discussion, and probably after we launch the Kenya Stroke Planners Western chapter, we could have an annual calendar that would mean the leadership or representatives that would be appointed, that is from planners in academia, private sector, public sector, would do a schedule to meet, or rather to go down to each county. You see, we have had the case study of Nyamira, that they're saying they only felt and seen on Google Maps. It's good it came from them. It could have sounded as criticism, but it came from them, and they acknowledge where they are today. However, that is the story of quite a number of our counties in this particular region. And so this is a step towards the right direction. I'm doing this so that as I cap what all other speakers have talked about, maybe from UN Habitat or from the UN DRR, also we from countries.
Excuse when MC.
Yes, please.
When MC, I'm from behind you. Yes, allow me to put it on record. I've just heard you mention that it's from this region about county special plan that it's only said that it's at some point. Allow me to bring to your attention that as Migori County, we are at around 98%, because we're only waiting for a new cabinet to be put in place, and then it be presented to them for approval, then to the assembly. But so far, all the other processes the Migori County has actually completed, and that was undertaken by Geodev Kenya Limited, which I believe is a very competent firm when it comes to planning matters. So we should not leave the meeting blaming, or rather claiming that Migori has not done anything to do with special planning. We are actually, data-wise and everything, we are at a good completion percentage so far. I just wanted to make that clear. Thank you.
Thank you for the clarification, Director. I wish also to commend Migori. That's good progress, quite good progress. However, that's where also CI has once stalled. So from experiences, maybe, the problem has been approval of plans. And that was devolved to counties, whereby cabinets are supposed to go through or to be taken through the plans, and also the county assembly to be taken through the plans. Then these plans are approved by the CCMs for lands, housing, and urban development, or whichever other name that that particular unit is called in the various counties. However, the challenge has always been that And I don't think it's only to spatial plans, but to various policies at county level. Also, I think also our partners in research and policy can also attest to that. At county level, the problem has been that the poor are meant to, or rather, poor are mandated by law to approve plans. Sometimes they table very unrealistic demands. So they assume, or rather, they may not understand the importance of the plan, but we should encourage continue educating them. That is county special plans. Any urban institution that has got a plan, an approved plan, that is a municipality.
As well, because for Migori, we have 3 municipalities. We have Rongo, the manager talked here. We have Migori and Awendo. We've done the 3 SDPs, which have gone through the committee, the CC, and have actually been approved by the assembly. That was, the 3 were approved around 2019, towards the end of 2019. So they have active running SDPs for the 3 municipalities, and the managers are here. That is for Migori. We also have 2 more towns whose SDPs are just to be presented to the CC for approval as well.
Any other county with an experience with the approval of plans? Nyamira? I saw Nyamira also have got an SUDP. Is it approved? Not yet. Okay, quite a number of also urban institutions are making efforts to have to develop plans. We're talking about challenges in terms of development and approval of plans in our various counties in this region. Yeah, I have a chance of seeing the plan for Nyamira, but it had not been approved. For Busia County, we do have 2 municipalities. We do have Busia Municipality and Malaba Municipality. Busia Municipality has got an approved plan. However, Malaba does not have a plan. So that is also a gap from our end in Busia. As I was speaking, I wish to recognize the presence of the key president, that is Planner Joachim Nyarai. Please let's clap for our plan. He joined us later. Planner, we wish to welcome you to this occasion, the World Town Planning Day that we are hosting in Kisumu County. The immediate last event was hosted in Kilifi County, that is in Malindi. The opportunity then was that this particular date came within a week that the planning fraternity were at a conference in Malindi, that is last year. And the day was quite colorful and was marked well. We had an opportunity to be taken through the works that have been, or rather the influence and the work that have been done that can be attributed to planning. With the counties at the coast, they are quite ahead, or rather they've made quite a big strides when it comes to development in the blue economy. Around that concept, Malindi had done a park, they had done an amusement park, let me call it an amusement park, along the coast of Strip, and that had been done through the Kenya Urban Support Program. which also to believe also Kisumu City is a beneficiary of the same program. And in this region, Kisumu City is a source of pride for all of us in this region. And also all these urban institutions that we're talking about, Kenya Urban Support Program is a program that supports 59 municipalities. And quite a number of those municipalities are represented here. Therefore, we can say that all of us in this particular hall, we are either planners in practice, in private sector, in academia, and also friends of the planning profession. Also, it's important to join us and our team in marking this day, this being the first event to be held in Kisumu, but also this is also an opportunity for us to officially launch the Kenya Institute of Planners Western Chapter that brings together 10 counties in this particular region. Therefore, Madam President, I wish to report to you that this particular team is quite energetic, and they are eager to hear from your team in Nairobi as you evolve to this level. They wish to hear your programs that you have, and they also want to see and maybe to ask questions on how they can enjoy and be active members of KIP. We have various memberships of KIP. Also, students are encouraged to join. It's always important when you join early at that stage. Yeah, you will get an opportunity to interact with your counterparts who are in practice, and we do have planners from this particular center, these particular institutions that we're talking about, one based across the globe, various cities and towns in Africa, locally in the country. You want to miss a member of KIP. I think in all counties you want to miss a member of KIP. We wish that you develop this knowledge further, and we have everybody gets to benefit from it. Therefore, members, let's put our hands together and welcome the guest of honor, who is also the president of KIP, Bwana Joachim Nyarangi, to give his speech.
Are we there? Yes. I'm very, very glad to be here. I want to thank the senior Dr. Kola for taking up. I know we met in Nakuru. Was it a month ago? Almost a month ago. And he's always been urging the GC, the Western branch needs to be activated. And I told him, well, the Western branch cannot just be activated like any other branch. Here we must have a momentous occasion. After all, this is only a one-off event. And he took up the challenge, and I told him, well, the next possible one this year is World Planning Day. We were set to be in Egypt actually for COP27, but with the prevailing situations and the KQ issue, here we are. And for me now, an even bigger occasion because we are localizing planning. So I'm very glad and very happy that the Western region has been able to mobilize. I've seen Nyamira is here. Kisii, is Kisii here? Kisii County is here. Migori. Yes, we were together in this issue last week. Homa Bay. Okay, Siaya County. Vihiga. happens. Kakamega, I think June somewhere. Kakamega, which is Bungoma. Bungoma. Kisumu. There are only 3 or 4. Busia, our border county. Wow. I think I'm forgetting. Have I covered all of them? From the municipalities, in general municipalities across all those counties, anyone representing the municipalities, representing from the municipalities, good. So for sure we are a region that should have been activated a long time ago. In this coming, this GC, we opted to take planning back to the planners. In fact, and indeed, the issues of this region and the counties within region are better discussed and solved and handled at the regional level. We want to urge, as we activate this branch, that let us associate more. The more associate, the more we are able to make strides. What do you mean by association? Within our counties, within the region, we need to be having regular meetings. In the other activated regions, this is the third one to be activated, Pwani region and South Rift region, they have meetings every quarter, every 3 months. Let us strive to have meetings. Another meeting of association, let us have events, sporty events that bring us together, social events that bring us together, even as we even have the more serious professional discourse events. 3, that we're able to communicate and share information. So we have our WhatsApp groups, we'll have our leaders from every county within the regional structures. Each county should have one representative where we're able to share information. But more importantly, we want to give solutions to our governments and solutions to enable our people have better livelihoods and achieve socio-economic transformation. I want to bring the regards and the greetings from the Governing Council. We had a impromptu meeting yesterday where we were, as I told you, we were to go to Egypt, but then I was tasked to come here. We want to give you the regards from the Governing Council, the support from the Governing Council, and the request from the Governing Council that as we associate, let us push our agenda, our motto of making Kenya a planning society. A call to us, especially planners, to uphold our professional ethics and conduct to a higher standard as we begin this new era. This is a post-COVID era. We have new governments in place now. Let us lift our standards and our conduct to a higher level. I want to urge our planners in private practice, to come together. The opportunities that come with the region here are immense, and I think the numbers are also low. Let us come together and support our practice and our profession. Engage our young planners from our universities, mentor them, engage with our counties and offer our services. And as I've also spoken to the media, the team is ready to offer, we are ready to offer pro bono services, planning services, and this through the regional planning firms to prepare, select, ward development plans. Select integrated urban development plans. And maybe one, select county spatial plan if the region sees fit. This is one of the key steps that keep through the planning, plus the private practice, wish to lobby and advocate for planning within our region. To our planners in public service, well, you mostly hold the face of the profession to the public, because you are the first people they come to. We want to urge that we enhance and put our standards to a higher level. Planning of every space. Let us not have developments that are coming up that are not within a planning framework. We want you to be very bold and advise your seniors and your governors on the importance of budgeting, on the importance of building capacity, on the need to plan our urban spaces and our counties at large. We are there to support you. We are there to offer you the platform, and we offer you the backdrop. Don't be fearful. Please be very bold. We've seen before issues of intimidation and duress where our planners in the counties are forced to approve or condone developments that are not otherwise allowed. We want to urge you, stick to your ground. We are there to support you. But more importantly now, we are on, within the next 2 months, on an advocacy campaign, meeting the governors, meeting our CECMs, our chief officers, our MCAs, to really advocate for planning. I think from this region I've already met with 3 of the governors who have updates, who are willing to actually put planning where it's supposed to be. So we have the right backdrop, but coming together we're able to push it further. Our members in academia, our scholars, we also look up to you for research and innovation within our region that is custom and solution oriented. We are also an integral part of the practice, of the planning practice. Research that speaks to our issues, to our opportunities, to our context. And I think we are lucky here, we have universities. 3 universities, JUS, Maseno, and Kabiano. Alright? So we have all it takes. But the first situation is our region is lagging behind in matters of planning and plan-led development. We have all the experts, we have a willing population, we have educated and literate people in key decision-making positions in this country and in our region, but our region is lagging behind. Just from the media, we're getting questions of efforts that are happening within the region that seem to not bear fruit or to be in contrast to what people expect, because these are isolated and not based on a plan. Issues of capacity within our region, our counties are not well capacitated, our departments are not well funded. I want us to come together and with the strength of coming together, let us advocate for better planning and planning development within our region. I want to finish by saying that we've also been called to the unique opportunity in our country. The country is now in a socio-economic transformation mood, where people are put at the center of every development, of every decision, of every effort going forward. our profession, then right now we've been called and is called upon to guide this socio-economic transformation. Because it cannot happen if it's not on land, if it's not on space, if it's not based on people, and if it's not also temporal, going into the future and how the dynamics of change are going to happen. Then our profession, as you see and as you all understand, then is called upon to offer this solution to our people. My urge to you is that we have in the next few months to a year to come out. We have been called in the next few months to a year to be pragmatic, to offer solutions, to offer ourselves, to offer our training, our experience to achieve socio-economic transformation. The affordable housing agenda, the bottom-up agenda, the social empowerment agenda cannot be achieved if we are not negotiating with our people. It is only through planning that we are able to go to the communities, to the lowest level, and negotiate with our communities on where they need to be in the next 10, 20 years. On the priority areas, and more importantly, on how this is to be achieved from their personal responsibility, community responsibility, to achievement of their rights as will be provided in the plans. So I want to urge us when the call comes, and this is the offers I said before, we're offering when we meet our governors. We are ready to do ward level plans, one ward for every county, pro bono, and by pro bono it means we'll be calling upon you to come together to do this. That we'll be offering ourselves to the counties, that the planning, budgeting, and capacity structures. We'll be calling upon you to come together within the county, within the region, to put and to propose planning department structures up to the lowest level possible, and how this can be achieved. We've already done this in the other regions, in the coast region, the south region, but we wish for this region to be the leading region going forward. The other bit is we are also pushing an East African integration agenda, an East African spatial plan. Our region sits at the border and at the integrating resource of the region, the Lake Victoria Basin region. We'll also be offering ourselves to the East African community to prepare an East African spatial plan. We want to get the region prowess, resources and opportunities that are here from this regional approach. As we urge for continued membership, and you as advocates of the Institute and of the planning profession, let us make sure that we have within our counties qualified, registered, recognized planning professionals within our counties. We are also pushing for the urban agenda, today being the Water Planning Day. We are urging planners in this region to advocate for delegation of functions into our municipalities, so that we have functional municipalities with proper departments and technical staff to be able, to enforce, plan, enforce, and ensure we have sustainable and livable urban areas. With those few and many remarks, I want to thank you and to urge you to continue in association as we make Kenya a plan state. Thank you very much.
Let's applaud him further. Thank you, President, for those very encouraging remarks. As we move and we wish to transit into the next stage of this particular event, whereby people are also eager to see presentation that is various plans that have been done in this region, showcasing the expertise from planners that we also have in this region. Maybe also if President will be interested in seeing that. And we are also going through that. We're also going to showcase the readiness of this region in uptaking what KIP has in store for this particular region. But before we get there, shortly we wish to have maybe a representative of the business community of Kisumu. They are requested to stay a while. Okay, they are not here. The next one will be the civil society. That is there's a representative from SMEJAK.
My name is Margaret. I'm a director and founder of an organization called CELJAC, Nutrition Peace Promotion. And I'm glad to be here today because what we are really involved in is environment and conservation. And when we started, we were simply putting research into practice. But along the way, we understood that, came to the realization that in the urban, or let's say, the poor versus the rich, their understanding is totally different. Maybe the poor have been so battered that they have lost hope in the government, in themselves, and they only wake up because they believe there's a God. So we had to package everything and present it from the Word of God. And we discovered that it's the same principle, whether you're a Christian, a Muslim, or an atheist. They really believe in something. And with that came up Creation Care and the Gospel, which is now a world movement. I represent Creation Care and the Gospel and the CMS Africa. And we decided to just put down a pilot project, which is we started in Uroba in Miwani, but a few words came on the floor here. You cannot upscale a project if it is not accessible. Miwani having been a dead town for years, there are no roads. So then the bishop requested us to replicate what we are doing in his garden of Eden that he saw growing up, which was in Songo. So we went to start work on Nyando, but in the upper, near Kopere, which is the border town. And we are working on this river. It's called Anyapatun because it starts in the Nandis, and then there's the Bogo also flowing through Songo. And we were just putting down what Water Resources Authority was teaching about conservation of the riparian area, and came up with a model with that. But doing it quickly, we had to use bamboo, which was research done and was the answer to the hyacinth problem, which we have refused to do and we've gone more for shortcut, mechanization. And yet the simplest thing, which is just planting on the riverines, we are not taking it. So we're doing a model so that we can learn. I'll teach people what to do with it. And I think another thing that came up is lack of finances for planning and budgeting. So we were also choosing bamboo because it's quick and it's a whole industry. Whether you want bamboo for textile, I think Kisumu under the Big Four has been marked for textile making. And out at Polytechnic, they're already putting the plant. And if cotton fails, what happens? So bamboo has an alternative to bamboo type that would produce bamboo for textile. And it's also for food and just anything, so-called the miracle grass, because it does everything that wood can do, and being food and also for help. So it's a whole industry that bamboo would bring down very quickly that could finance planning. We are also doing the hilltops, and we have started work there through Green Anglicans. Bishop Joshua Witi Ouma leads it. And we've already done quite a lot of work. I remember coming to Maseno University, and through this project is how I got involved with the SPADE program and the planning departments, because we are doing something that planning is not on the the ground with us. There are all these players, like now in Kisumu would have the Water Towers Agency, we have Water Resource Authority, we have Wildlife Plans of Kenya, which is getting children to be involved in conservation and environment matters, but it is all disconnected. Today, I think I hear you talking about we need to do it holistically so that everybody is on board, so that we do not do a correction come later. It's just like the blunder that was made with the eucalyptus tree, when forestry was simply reforesting and not thinking there is a water resource authority that says no, this will suck water from the river basin, and then people invested and had to put it down and has since discouraged tree farming. So on behalf of the civil society also, when we talk about planning, we are thinking more of buildings, we're thinking of structures, yet also at the county level and the county office, there's a total disconnect, because like the houses that have planted trees, we're talking of climate change period, and you kept trees instead of putting a building, you find that they're undervalued because trees are given no value. So trees are given no value, and because it's given no value, I don't see how in the city of Kisumu we are going to have trees that will bring that cooling effect, like let's say the Singapore people have done. So that is also a total disconnect, and we are hoping this can be, addressed. The other thing is, I think there are a lot of teachers, lecturers, universities that have presented today. And for example, I am from the School of Life, I'm not from It Matters, Environment, Conservation and Planning. But I did not hear planning at a certificate or diploma. It's like really specialized degree level. And I think there are people who maybe because of experience, I might know a little bit more because I worked with ICRAF and then wealth programs, so nutrition and agroforestry, and being on the same compound with the UNDP, and then getting into what I'm doing. But then, without certification, somebody will say that this is a quack planner, but yet I'm planning maybe better than a professional planner. So I hope those gaps will be sealed. Thank you.
Thank you. As we transition into the next session, whereby we are going to have presentations through the slides. That is various plans that have been undertaken. We wish that we do have a head break, a short one, that is for 3 minutes at most. Okay, 3 minutes at least, 5 minutes at most. And then we come back and complete that session. Thereafter is when we'll have, after the presentation is when we'll have a plenary. And we are expecting maybe to have feedback from you and also to share experiences from wherever everybody comes from. Thank you. Let's proceed for that health break, and let's join back here after 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes. Thank you.